The Big Death Stars are a group of 6 Digimon who are themed after the elements which constitute the Chinese Wuxi, with the sun and the moon, each representing one of Japanese days of the week. The group consists of 3 ultimate-level Digimon, namely Neovamdaman, Dorbikman, Elegman, and 3 perfect-level Digimon, namely Splashman, Zamialman, Graviman. Apolloman, an ultimate-level Digimon, is related to the Big Death Stars, while not belonging to the group. Each member is the general of a specific army of the group. Together they can digicurse to form Grangenerman. Neovamdaman is an ultimate-level undead type that has the virus attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is a member of the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from Neo, of Greek origin, meaning new, and Vamdaman, a combination of vampire, an undead creature from folklore, that subsists by feeding on blood, and demon, a supernatural being, typically associated with evil. Neovamdaman's element is the moon, and it represents Monday. Its army is known as the Moonlight Army, with its members consists of mostly undead-type Digimon. Neovamdaman, the general of the Moonlight Army of the Big Death Stars. Its goal is to erase hostile forces without leaving a trace, so it has its army of undead Digimon lurk everywhere, and erase the Digimon that move against it, one by one. It forgot its emotions as a consequence of always lurking in the dark, and even slaughter is becoming a part of its life that it neither likes nor dislikes. However, it feels fulfilled only when it watches the termination of a dying Digimon under the moon. Neovamdaman can summon its familiar spirits, Evilval, which are brought forth in an inexhaustible supply, and naturally prefer the life energy of Digimon. The Digimon that experience its Nightmare Raid, which fires the Evilval at multiple enemies, become a terrible sight to behold. Its Bloody Stream Glade, which freely extends both of its arms, is a technique that reliably captures its opponent, and wrenches them apart after forcing the captured opponent to divulge all their information. And then it collects dark energy, and when the moon on its chest is full, it fires off a certain kill Guardiac Raid. Although the opponent sees the flash of a beam of light from ahead of everything in its surroundings, being changed to darkness, that light is not hope, but the light of demise. Dorbikman is an ultimate-level Dragon Man type that has the virus attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is a member of the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from Dragon Breath Tonic, particularly the contraction of the phrase in Japanese pronunciation, Dorgan Biresu Taniku. Dorbikman's element is the fire, and it represents Tuesday. Its army is known as the Fire Fury Army, with its members consists of mostly dragon-type Digimon. Dorbikman, the general of the Fire Fury Army of the Big Death Stars. It leads a multitude of dragon Digimon in perfect order, and destroys its enemies with its overwhelming battle strength, in any kind of combat situation. It excels in both power and speed, and with its wealth of combat experience its powers of intuition is outstanding, so that it can easily handle battles, where it must adapt to the moment. Due to a personality that prefers the flames of destruction surging across the battlefield, it stirs up battles when it comes across a peaceful area. And although it's a Digimon, it obtains pleasure from gazing on the side of the world being incinerated. Its Tyrant Colbrand, which uses the anger it works up in battle as a flaming sword, demonstrates its powerful depending on the might of its rage. It unfolds in battle that it is a match for 1,000 warriors, as it modifies the terrain, and inflicts damage on groups of enemies with its Burning the Dragon, in which it stabs a dragon's vein within the land, and instantly reduces anything touched by its ultra-high temperature dragon Bristonic fire to ashes. Splashman is a perfect-level aquatic beast man type that has the virus attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is a member of the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from splash, a sound made by something striking or falling into liquid. Splashman's element is the water, and it represents Wednesday. Its army is known as the Water Tiger Army, with its members consists of mostly cyber-type Digimon. Splashman, the general of the Water Tiger Army of the Big Death Stars. By changing itself into a liquid, and moving from liquid to liquid, it is able to take the shape of a human or Digimon at will. For this reason, spying is its specialty, and it puts all the information it acquired together, then relays it to a cyber Digimon to implement its strategies. No matter the tactics, it always puts being beautiful as its top priority, and its personality is such that it will reject tactics that sully its own beauty. Although it leads an army, its faith is only in its own beauty, so it doesn't have even an iota of anything like mutual trust, even for the Digimon in its army. The cute, multicolored dripping water spirits compassed and formed within its body. In contrast to their appearance, each possess an offensive ability of frightening degree, including close combat, abnormal condition, and detonation abilities according to their color. It has become a word-of-mouth rumor that among Drippin there exists one packed with Splashman's obsession, the miraculous beauty fluid that turns the skin glossy. The army of Dripping, that are fired with its poisonous force, paralyzed the enemy force's chain of command, causing the battlefield to fall into chaos. Furthermore, with its hydro pressure, which shoots water of high pressure and speed from its fingertips, and its speed drown, which instantly gathers trace elements, and converts them to liquid around the opponent's head, it possesses techniques that can cause abnormal conditions. Splashman Darkness Mode. Other form of Splashman, that is still considered as a member of the Big Death Stars. Splashman Darkness Mode is a perfect level aquatic beastman type that has the virus attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field, and is a member of the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from splash, a sound made when something hits water or falls into it, and darkness, the partial or total absence of light. When Splashman gets wounded, and is driven into a corner, it unzips the trucks all over its body, and reveals the true form of Splashman lying within. Those who saw this form, let alone the one who wounded it, are driven to death with its Tiger Typhoon, which consumes everything. However, because its true form is, against its will, simply hideous, it absolutely hates exposing this form. Zamielman is a perfect level demon man type that has the data attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is a member of the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from Zamiel, the frightful demon huntsman of the opera, Der Freisches. Zamielman's element is the wood, and it represents Thursday. Its army is known as the Wood Spirit Army, with its members consists of mostly fairy and plant-type Digimon. Zamielman, the general of the Wood Spirit Army of the Big Death Stars. It has dominion over many fairy and plant Digimon, which are able to blend in with the land of meadows and forests to camouflage themselves. It goes forward with things in a calm and collected manner, and in surprise attacks, pincer attacks, exterminations, feints, blitzes, guerrilla attacks, or any other tactic it pleases, it directs its army to make the extermination of its enemies successful. As enabling such a strategy definitely needs strict iron discipline, it possesses enough of a cool head, that in situations where its subordinates throw its movements out of order, it snipes from anywhere to deal with it. No matter what the strategy is, its own actions are considered to hold the key to success, so it shoots through the opponent's head with its snipe headshot, while rushing about the battlefield. Its body is trained in various techniques, and it freely draws the techniques out in order to fire arrows from its hands with its arrow lance, slash with its bow cutter, that uses the bow on the side of its abdomen as a blade, and took fire with its foot shot, that it prepared in its feet. Even if it is surrounded by a group, it slashes at its neighbors with its turbulence arrow, then fires arrows into the distance, and shoots the opponents dead with its random firing, without missing a single shot. When facing formidable and gigantic opponents, it deals with them using its The World Shot, a bold move that concentrates energy into the gigantic Indra arrow that is set on its abdomen, then pierces it into the opponent's core. Ligman is an ultimate level marine animal type that has the vaccine attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is a member of the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from Oleg of Novgorod, a Varangian prince, or Khanum, who ruled all or part of the Russ's people during the late 9th and early 10th centuries. Olegman's element is the gold, and it represents Friday. Its army is known as the Gold Thief Army, with its members consists of mostly aquatic sea animal type Digimon. Olegman. As the general of the Gold Thief Army of the Big Death Stars, it is a super heavyweight Digimon whose whole body is clad in steel armor. With its army, which runs the whole gamut of atrocities and looting with aquatic and marine animal Digimon, it plunders treasure wherever it travels across the ocean. It has a weakness for gold and silver treasures, so its collected treasures become Olegman's entire diet, and it increases the strength of Olegman's armor, if it eats enough. Olegman boasts the most superhuman strength among the other generals, easily wielding its super heavyweight dual tomahawk pair of axes, and effortlessly hurling them with its dual tomahawk boomerang. If an opponent suffers its Viking buffet, in which it swings the axes down vertically over and over, they'll be chopped to bits in the blink of an eye. Also, Olegman keeps the gigantic shadow called Jormungandr in the chest on its right shoulder, and the one called Surtur in the chest on its left shoulder. Both become fiendish shadows if an opponent is recognized, and Jormungandr on its left shoulder takes them away to Jotunheim, which is said to be the end of the world, with the Age of Discovery. Surtur on its left shoulder asks for the opponent's wishes, and pretends to grant them if dream comes true, but avoids granting the wish using a convenient interpretation from Olegman, and if on the other hand the opponent stubbornly refuses the wish, it keeps on doling out attacks. Braviman is a perfect level unknown type that has the virus attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is a member of the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from gravity, a force of attraction that tends to draw particles or bodies together. Gravimon's element is the earth, and it represents Friday. Its army is known as the Earth God Army, with its members consists of mostly God Beast-type Digimon. Gravimon, the general of the Earth God Army of the Big Death Stars. It is a tactician that has the ability to freely manipulate gravity, and with that ability it has the ingenuity to survey the entire situation and control the course of the battle at will. The beauty of its plots are even said to be ingenuity, as if gushing forth, so it makes sport of the enemy army, by weaving formulaic tactics together with creative schemes. God Beast Digimon account for the majority of its army, which has overwhelming strength in terms of military power. Because it enjoys stimulating tactics, it uses the battlefield as Gravimon's testing ground. It is an investigative Digimon which continues to zealously research questions like, how many casualties can be produced easily, which tactic lets it listen to a multitude of screams, what creative scheme will surprise the enemy or ally as they die, which method will cause all of the opponents to die without shedding blood, and so on. With its octogravity, which manipulates the gravity on the battlefield using its 8 tentacles, it controls the opponent's gravity based on the flow of the battle, and can make them lighter or heavier. It elastically extends both of its arms, and burdens the opponent with its high gravity pressure, compressing the opponent to their limit. Its gravity bang, which is called a mythical bold move, places the digital world's gravity pressure upon Gravimon itself until it reaches its limit, then detonates the entirety of its energy all at once. Although it has enough destructive power to partially destroy a star, it is a forbidden self-destruction technique that might obliterate itself. Although it can regenerate, if it waits for many long years, even Gravimon doesn't know how long it will suffer for until it regenerates. Apollomon is an ultimate level God-man type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Dragon's Roar and Nature Spear's field, and is related to the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from the Roman god of sunlight, prophecy, music, and poetry. Apollomon's element is the sun, and it represents Sunday. Its army is known as the Sun Ring Army, with its members consists of mostly God-man Beast-type Digimon. Apollomon, the God-man Digimon that is one of the Olympos 12, it conceals solar-class flame energy. This energy has the terrifying power to smelt all substances, and its almost heartless fervor and pride are barely restrained. Its special moves are firing the scorching solar orb generated from the sphere of flame on its back, Soul Blister, and a one-hit knockout fist filled with its hidden power, Phobos Blow. Also, it can continuously fire red-hot arrows from the shining jewels on its hands, Arrow of Apollo. Apollomon Whispered, other form of Apollomon that is still related to the Big Death Stars. Apollomon Whispered is an ultimate level God-man type that has the unknown attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is related to the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from the Roman god of sunlight, prophecy, music, and poetry, and whisper, something uttered very softly. Apollomon Whispered. A true evil sadistic dark side of Apollomon, formed when a program called Whispered inserted into it takes full control of Apollomon's body. It resembles the same body as Apollomon, but is dark blue, and has yellow eyes. Apollomon Whispered is considered the dark sunspot to Apollomon's bright sun, so it is physically identical to Apollomon albeit with a shadowy color scheme. Its special move is Arrow of Whispered, where it continuously fires dark arrows from the shining jewels on its hands, and Lamenting Sun, as it gathers solar energy into an ever-expanding dark sun that incinerates all that it touches. Grangenermon is an unknown level unique type that has unknown attribute. It is unknown if it belongs to any specific field. It is closely related to the Big Death Stars group. The name comes from grand, meaning magnificent and imposing in appearance, size, or style, and general, the commander of an army, or an army officer of very high rank. Grangenermon, a form that was forced cross from 7 powerful Digimon as they were without being compressed. Grangenermon is a gestalt of 7 Digimon. It has the head and chest of Dorbikmon, the wings and left arm of Neovamdemon, the abdomen and tail of Samielmon, the body of Splashmon Darkness Mode, as its lower half which gives it a centaur-like appearance, the right arm of Elegmon, the right arm of Gravimon with its chest and tentacles as the shoulder, and the crest and left arm of Apollomon. It has no self or will, and unleashes the special moves of the 7 who are its basis against those who enter its field of vision.